Welcome friends for online session, class 10th, subject biology, chapter life process and session number 5. Earlier we have studied transportation, nutrition in plants, nutrition in animals, respiration in animals and plants, transportation in animals. Now today we are going to discuss transportation in plants and excretion in organisms. So I am G.R. Chopde, PGT Biology, JNV Sangli. So first, how transportation takes place in plants. Now if you see this diagram, so plants take water, minerals from the soil and transport it to the various parts of plant like stem, leaf, flower and fruits. And some amount of water here lost in the form of a vapor, that is transpiration. Similarly, the plant's green part will prepare the food in the form of sugars by taking sunlight, that is photosynthesis, release oxygen as a byproduct, take carbon dioxide and use this water, and whatever the sugar is produced, that is transported wherever the plants required as a food, and remaining will be stored. How plant transport system work? So plant have a xylem, a water conducting tissue. It helps to move water and minerals obtained from the soil. So there are xylem vessels and tracheids, which are both non-living conducting tissues which have a very thick wall and chemically made up of lignocellulose. Second tissue is a phloem, that is a food conducting tissue. Transport products of photosynthesis from the leaves where they are synthesized to other parts of the plant where either use or they will store. So these are two, a water conducting and food conducting tissues which are present in the plant. So first, how water will be transported? So water will be transported, that is root pressure. So water enters the cell of a root from soil due to difference in the concentration. That is, soil has more water compared to the root cells. So water will move from its high concentration to low concentration. So this entry of water molecule exert a pressure inside the root cell, and then into the xylem vessels. So this positive pressure is called root pressure. So the root contain a pressure created by the entry of water molecules that helps to raise the water up to certain height. So it is responsible for pushing off the water to a small height in the stem. And this can be very clearly observed early in the morning in a small plants, that is herb plants. At the root leaf tip, there is a liquid oozes out called guttation. Second one is, that is transpiration pull. The loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant is called transpiration. So due to transpiration, continuous loss of water, the cells of the leaf lose water. So the lost water replaced by the water from xylem vessels which are present in the leaf. So again there is a water difference. So gradually it creates a suction pressure, that is negative pressure, which pulls up water through the xylem vessels of stem and root. So in this way, the process of transpiration helps in the upward movement of water along with dissolved minerals from the roots to the leaves through the stem. Because in leaf, stem and root, the xylem, tracheids and vessels are interconnected to each other and form a continuous water column. Okay, so here
how do water and minerals get to the leaves? Although roots can exert a slight upward pressure, it is evaporation of water from leaves, a process called transpiration, that moves water molecules and ions up from the roots. Transpiration exerts a pull that is relayed downward along a string of water molecules from leaf to root. Hydrogen bonds cause water molecules to stick together, a phenomenon called cohesion.
So between the two molecules there is a water molecule cohesion force.
As each water molecule evaporates, it pulls on the next water molecule and it pulls on the next. This relays the pull of evaporating water molecules all the way down to the roots. The adhesion of water to walls of the xylem cells helps to keep gravity from pulling the water molecules back down. As each water molecule escapes from the leaf, it pulls a column of water molecules upward. Solutes are transported along with the water. Thus, the plant xylem uses the movement of evaporating water molecules, cohesion, and adhesion to draw water and dissolved minerals from the soil into its roots and upward to its leaves.
Okay. Now, how the food is transported in plants. So food that is in the form of sucrose are transported or moved from leaves to other parts of the plant. Here friends, याद रखना है कि plant prepare food in the form of glucose, transport in the form of sucrose and store in the form of starch. तो ग्लूकोज और स्टार्च का हमने ऑलरेडी स्टडी किया है. This transport of soluble products of photosynthesis for a long distance is called translocation. And it occurs in a phloem which is made up of sieve tubes and companion cell. So the translocation of food and other substances takes place in the sieve tubes with the help of adjacent companion cell, both in upward and downward direction. So water and minerals always move in upward direction, but food will transport in both direction, upward and downward. Okay. So the translocation in phloem is achieved by utilizing energy in the form of ATP. So transportation of food is active process, but the transport of water is passive process, a purely physical process, that is pressure, either root pressure or suction pressure. Here it is due to osmotic pressure, and to create that osmotic pressure, so energy is required. Here you can see the sugar translocated from the sources to sink according to that is a pressure flow theory. So here you can see, so it is a source cell, that is sugar converted in the form of sucrose, and the water in the leaves, and that will move into the phloem, and because of here sugar, the water will be drawn from the xylem. So due to that, here pressure is built, and here at a source, okay, source sink cell, so there is a pressure is less, so therefore there is a difference in the pressure from source to sink, and that food will move from a high pressure to a low pressure, and that is called pressure flow. So when it will store here, again that water will be drawn, and again it will go into the transpiration stream. So this is how the water and food transportation takes place with the help of xylem vessels, and here with the help of sieve tubes. Okay, here you can see during the spring season, so sugar stored in the root and stem is translocated to the growing buds. Okay, during the winter season when there is no leaves at all. Okay, so ये ऊपर भी हो सकता है. So this is, you can see a leaf. Okay, everything is clearly shown. So there is a sieve tube. Here is in a companion cell. See that bulk flow, yeah, pressure flow. यहाँ पे blue indicates osmosis, and that red color arrow mark indicates active transport of sucrose. So it's required energy. तो आप difference भी बना सकते हैं. Okay. Now come to the second last concept is excretion. See, generally animals take proteins and nucleic acid. So proteins contain amino acids, nucleic acids contain nitrogenous bases. So both are converted into amino groups, that is amino acids. So these amino groups are waste product of a nitrogen. So here aquatic animals, most aquatic animals, including many fish, they remove ammonia as a waste material, that is nitrogenous. Mammals, most amphibians, shark, yeah, some bony fish, here they will come cartilaginous, here bony fish, they remove urea as a waste material. and many birds, insects, reptiles, and land snails. So they will remove a uric acid as a waste material. So nitrogenous waste material may be ammonia, urea, or uric acid. So excretion, the process of removal of nitrogenous waste material from the body, is called excretion. Ammonia, organisms are called ammonotelism. The process is called ammonotelism, that remove ammonia as a waste material. Organisms are called ammonotelic animals. Ammonia is more soluble, more toxic, more water required, but no energy is required. So therefore, the animals which get more water, like aquatic animals, crocodile, bony fish, tadpole, so all they remove ammonia as a waste. Urea, ureotelism. Okay, process of removal of urea as a waste material. Organisms are called ureotelic. So they need moderate water. Urea is less toxic, energy required moderate. Example, mammals, cartilage fish, whale, frog, toads, turtle, and shark. Uric acid, uricotelism, process of removal of uric acid is called as uricotelism. Animals which remove uric acid as a waste, they are called uricotelic animals. Uric acid is insoluble, so therefore no water is required more. Non-toxic, less water is required, okay, but more energy is required. Example, land reptiles, all birds, insects, and snails. Now, human beings have a special excretory system in man. See, there are two kidneys, left and right. From each kidney, there is a long tube called ureter. Both ureter will open into a sac, that is urinary bladder, bladder, that will empty the urine, okay, out of the body through urethra. And both kidneys are connected with a vein and artery. So artery bring the nitrogenous waste material, and the vein carry the blood which is free from nitrogenous waste material. So here you can see even renal artery and renal vein is there in each kidney. Inside the kidney, so there are so many nephrons. So this is the position of our kidneys. Now we'll see. First you try to see this.
Kidneys filter blood and make urine. Blood passes into the kidney through the renal artery and returns through the renal vein. Once inside each kidney, the blood passes into capillaries and then into thousands of tiny structures called Bowman's capsules.
So these are a nephron, which contain a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. And see here, the artery is there, it will carry the blood. Here the blood filtration takes place and the waste material pass.
Here filtering begins. The blood is under high pressure. Water, the waste molecule urea, and other small molecules pass out of the capillaries and into a kidney tube called a nephron. Now the liquid
is a nephron. So here the useful materials are get reabsorbed, and here the waste material, that is in the form of urine, will come.
Processed. The coiled part of the nephron makes sure that glucose doesn't escape into the urine, and the loop of Henle makes the...
Here you can see the whole urine is collected here.
Urine concentrated so that water is conserved. There are thousands of nephrons, each making urine. The liquid...
And this urine will passes to the ureter. Ureter will carry to the urinary bladder, and from urinary bladder it will go to urethra outside the body.
Drains into the central part of the kidney and then flows down the ureter.
Okay, now kidney. So there are two kidneys located on back of the abdominal cavity. So they are bean shape, kidney shape bolte hain. They contain a basic structural and functional unit of filtration called nephron. Nephron filters the blood and produces urine. Per day, 180 liter filtration takes place. And out of that, urine will be around 1 to 1.9 liter per day. So this much of waste is produced every day in our kidney. Another function of kidney is not only filtration of blood, it maintains osmotic concentration, osmoregulation. Ureters. Ureters are long tube which carries urine from a kidney to bladder by peristalsis movement. Urinary bladder is single sac-like, store urine up to 700 ml, that is average, maximum 1 liter. It opens into the urethra by the aperture guarded by a urethral sphincter. Urethral sphincter. Urethra, a single tube which carry urine outside the body. Now you can see here how that process will take place.
The two kidneys are bean-shaped organs which are located close to the back. Each kidney receives the blood flow from the renal artery, which branches off the abdominal aorta, the main artery which runs down the center of the body. Blood passes from the kidney into the vena cava via the renal vein. The ureter allows the flow of urine from the kidney to the bladder. The functional mass of the kidney is divided in the cortex and medulla, which are made.
See here it is a cortex, and here that red color is medulla. Cortex and medulla. And here there is a ureter. Ureter expand here, become a pelvis, and pelvis is expanded here into number of pyramids. So these pyramids contain what? A nephrons. And here you can see one is renal artery and one is renal vein.
Made up of intertwined tubules called nephrons and collecting ducts, and also blood vessels.
See,
Here we pass
this is number of nephrons are there in each kidney.
through the cortex. There are approximately 1 million nephrons in each kidney.
So each contain 1 millions of nephron.
Here we focus on one, showing the
This is single nephron. You should draw the diagram which is given in your textbook compulsory.
renal corpuscle and the extending tubule. The Bowman's capsule is a cup-like structure which
So here we get a Bowman's capsule that contain glomerulus. Then this is a renal tubule and this is collecting duct. Here you can write proximal tubule, here distal tubule, and this is a loop of Henle.
surrounds a glomerulus, a network of blood vessels. The blood vessels act like a sieve, filtering the blood that passes into the kidney. The filtered blood, which we call filtrate, passes into the tubule, is then processed by the nephron and will ultimately become urine.
Okay. Now see. So this is a nephron. Okay. See. Here there is a Bowman's capsule. Then inside there are a glomerulus. So these are a renal tubules. This is a Henle's loop, and here we'll get a collecting duct. So there is a branch of renal vein that bring here renal artery and renal vein. Okay. So this is how it is connected. You should draw this diagram from your textbook. Nephron. Each kidney contains about 1 to 1.5 million nephrons parts. It contains cup-shaped Bowman's capsule with a bundle of capillaries called a glomerulus. Urea formed in the liver. So urea actually produced in the liver, and that enters in the blood, and it filters that blood except the blood cells and proteins and form a glomeruli filtrate. So it will filter out everything except blood cells and proteins. Remaining useful waste material, everything will be get filtrate, and that filtrate is called glomerular filtrate. See here. Okay. Then, so when this filtrate will pass through these tubules, renal tubules, here the useful materials like bicarbonate, sodium chloride, amount of water required, all nutrients, glucose, everything is reabsorbed. Then here their concentration is maintained by reabsorbing water and required amount of salt. Then finally the remaining amount of water and required salts are also reabsorbed, and whatever will come here in the collecting duct, that is the waste, excess water which contain urea and other unwanted materials. So that is steps in urine formation. First one is ultrafiltration, glomerular filtration. Second one is selective reabsorption, and third one is secretion. As I told you, either filtration of blood takes place in Bowman's capsule. It will filter everything except blood cells and proteins. Then here everything is reabsorbed selectively except the nitrogenous waste by renal tubules, and secretion, that is waste finally. Filtration of blood under high pressure is called ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltrate of the blood passes through a single cell layer, thick capillary wall, and wall of Bowman capsule. 7.5 liter per hour, 180 liter per day. About 180 liter per day in human kidney. Okay, now out of that, around 1 to 1.9 liter waste will be produced. Now, tubular reabsorption. It reabsorbs sodium chloride, that is salt and water, 90% of bicarbonates, all the sugar, Okay, all vitamins. So everything will be reabsorbed here. Okay, so by doing these functions, the kidney may get fail. Then they use an artificial kidney, that is called hemodialysis, removing a nitrogenous waste by artificial kidney. When both the kidneys are fail either by infection, yeah, damage by injuries or accident, so then the blood will be filtered outside the body by artificial kidney. So here see that blood is pumped outside, and there are tubes made up of a selectively permeable membrane, and there is a dialysing solution. So this solution is similar to our plasma except nitrogenous waste, and our blood contain more nitrogenous waste. So when the blood is passing through here, so exchange of material takes place between this selectively permeable membrane and solution. So urea will come outside, and here it is collected, use the dialysing solution with urea and excess salt, and that is thrown outside, and the blood is pumped back into the body. Okay, so this is what artificial kidney. Now, how excretion takes place in plants. So in plants, there is no excretory system like animals. So waste in plants are different compared to animals. So it may be solid waste in plants in the form of raphides or rubber. Liquid waste in plants, it may be sandalwood oil, yeah, eucalyptus oil. So most of the oils, they are waste of the plants. There may be a gaseous waste in plants, that is in the form of carbon dioxide and oxygen. See, oxygen also waste. Oil is also waste. Rubber is also waste. So we are using this plant waste as a useful products for human beings. Now, how these waste are removed? Oxygen is a waste removed by a simple diffusion process through stomata. So excess of water plants remove by transpiration, again through stomata. Waste deposited in the leaves, yeah, in the bark, so the leaves will fall, yeah, bark will fall, so falling of leaves and bark. Waste products are also stored in cellular vacuoles as a resins, yeah, gums, especially in old xylem. You might have seen that when you cut any small part of the stem, some liquid will oozes out, that is the waste. Plants excrete waste substances into the soil by root. So the root also remove the waste material. Okay. Stem also remove the waste material. Leaf also remove the waste material through the stomata. So therefore, every part of the plant act as a excretory organ. Okay. So this is the end of chapter number 6, life process. I have covered in a 5 sessions all the processes. Okay, so thank you for watching all the